Hello. Last video we had a parcel arrive, so we're going to go and find out what's in the parcel. Let's go and have a look. Well, whatever it is, well packaged. Nothing but paper. More paper. More paper. More paper. One empty roll of masking tape. Ah, guess what we got here? Let's have a little look at this beauty. There you go. What do you think? I was going to try and save the old one, but this bit's missing completely, rotted out. That's a stiff old bit of metal. I was hoping, however, that some of that's the rear locks, that some of this was filled in. So it looks like I'm going to have to fabricate cover for there. There's the wing gutter for the Nisso front. I only really wanted the channel, but you get a little bit of the inner wing as well, which is useful. Doesn't fit. Where are you? There you go. Doesn't fit on top particularly well, but I reckon if we fitted it on the underside like that, then that would be quite good. And then down there we get the little top piece as well. So I reckon that's going to work really well. Right, it's going to be a useful bit of fabricating now I haven't got to do. That's quite nice there. Happy with that. The back, however, is not so good. They covered the D-post cover for this bit, which they've sent down there. There you go. It's twice as thick as it should be, and it just don't even fit close. It's absolutely appalling. I'm not quite sure, maybe I'm going to have to cut this one up and just use the bits that I need. That's basically going to be the bottom part, but I'll give you a shot of how bad it is in a second. Okay, this is the old D-post panel that I've already removed, so I've just offered it back up in place very, very loosely. It's got one clamp on it, and it fits all the way, obviously. Looking good, even up to the top, exactly where it was. Looking good, fits lovely. I will do, time I finish with it. Now I'll show you the replacement piece, the new bit that I've just bought. Well, this panel is very, very disappointing for the amount of money it costs, I've got to say. We're in location down on the jacking point, which is in the correct place because it has to come through the sill panel, which it does. So that's in the right place. That's sort of close-ish. And then look how far out we are there. Bearing in mind this piece here should be up to that piece there. And we are a mile away. Up there. I cannot move it any further forward. That's as far forward as it will possibly go. I've got no idea what's going on up here. That is so distorted up there. It doesn't even look right. It looks like something's landed on it, smashed it to pieces. So bearing in mind, this is, I'll get a gauge out in a minute. This is, it's got to be 1.5 millimeters, this bit of metal. It's too thick. It's not pliable. Just can't move it. Absolutely rock solid. We've got all this nonsense going on down here. It's just been beaten to hell. It's just shit, really. How am I going to get this bit to marry up with that bit? Sorry, that bit to marry up with that bit. Oh my lordy lord. Even like this piece here is just sitting at an angle. It's just this bit here, this, I know how to get further back, but it's just not even straight. Bearing in mind, down by the jacking point, can't move it. It's absolutely shite. Look at that, look at the distortion up there. What the hell? It doesn't even look the same as the original one up the top. Absolute piece of shit. Now what I'm going to do with that, I might have to end up salvaging, putting the old one on. And all I really needed was this bottom piece here, which is missing on my one, completely rotted out. So it's just cutting it across there, maybe, or cutting it down there, and then welding this piece on, and using this, the old bit, for that bit. It's just shit. Look at that. Look at it, just been beaten to hell. Absolutely appalling. It's just not even close. Very disappointed. So, I think what I might be able to do is use this piece, because there's a piece missing around the back that's out of stock, and it's going to be very difficult to make it. But I might be able to use this curve here and make one up using this, to cannibalise this for the bit round the back, because all that's wrong on the original is just down this back edge here is a bit corroded, but that's no big deal, repairing that, and just this bottom bit, and the rest, God only knows. Everything from there on up just wants spinning, really. Absolutely appalling. So pissed off. So I'm going to have a little think about this. Yeah, so a little bit disappointed with the D-post, to say the least. What I did forget to mention was that the gutter that we just saw a second ago also came in the parcel. That did look quite good, to be fair. and I might start doing that before too long. The other thing I said that I would do is show you where I worked. I only work part-time now, trying to slow it down a little bit, ready for allegedly retirement. Not sure that it will happen, but we can try anyway. Yeah, let's go to work. There you go, Lancaster Bomber, Just Jane, NX611. So she's in for a winter service, be back out in April, end of April, beginning of May, for taxi rides. So if you want to ride, you can. Little chance to see the cowlings off. There's your Rolls-Royce Merlins, all 4 of them. This wing up here is the one that I've been working on. They've just repaired it. They've managed to get a wing from France and repaired it so that they can put it on for taxiing purposes, whilst the original one gets renovated back to airworthy. So that's how I've been busy on this wing. Yeah, how's that then? It's a nice bit of kit. Okay, that's the arse end, of which I've painted the rearmost section. That's been again, that's been borrowed from the French and renovated and put on for taxiing purposes, whilst the original is put back to airworthiness. Fins are painted a couple of years ago, I think. That's the wing that's just come off. So that's the original Just Jane wing. That's going to go into the structures bay before too long, and that will be made to airworthy standard. That camo scheme is what I've just done on the other one that's been fitted up there. Same thing. Mosquito, again to taxiing. So if you want to ride, you can. I also look after that. B-25 bomber. That's going to be used on some filming in a few days' time. That's also going to go to taxiing standard. Just waiting on a couple of new engines. But that came from Hendon. It's quite nice, that one. This is the structures bay. You can just see Dave in the foreground. He helps me out with metal work as and when. Top left is the jig setup for the refurbishment of the tail section of the original fuselage for Just Jane. There's your front end of the B-25. Looks good, doesn't it? I like this one. My paint shop. This is where I spend most of my time, doing bits and pieces of Lancaster, or whatever they chuck at me at the time. Could be for the Mosquito, could be for the B-25. And VH Prime, top coat, whatever's necessary. And there you go. Well, I hope you found that interesting. Not many people can turn around and say they've done paintwork on a World War II Lancaster bomber, but that's basically what I do nowadays. I've done some light aircraft as well for another airfield down in Kent, and still do when called upon. Basically my background was always motor trade, and when I was 15 or 16, my father came out of the army and we ended up in Brixton of all places, London, and I was too old to go to school, too young to go to college, but the college accepted me where I finished off with some O-levels. Whilst I was waiting for the results, I opened up what was then the Yellow Pages and put my finger down, looked down, and it said Escort Parts Centre, dismantlers. So I thought, okay, rings them up, have you got a job? Yes, they said, come down. And that was the start of my motor trade. I just fell into it really. So I was stripping Mark 1 Escort parts for quite a while, and then there was a garage next door to the parts centre, and they used to come in on a daily basis, and I said to the boss man one day, "Give us a job." And he said, "You wouldn't last 5 minutes." I said, "Go on, give us a job, give us a job." He said, "Oh, okay." So he gave me a job next door in the garage. So from there I did 3 years on the servicing mechanical side of things, learning what was what, and ended up being quite good at it. After 3 years I decided I want to do something else, and I said, could I go up to the paint shop and do some paintwork? Yeah, okay. So that's what I did, and I went up to the paint shop with my mate Alfie, and he basically not so much taught me as let me have a go, and he just went on from there. Eventually I was painting myself, spraying myself, and what we used to do then in them days, we used to go down to Clapham Junction to Hollandia that used to do the sunroofs, and we'd be picking up brand new cars that had been stripped out and had a sunroof fitted, and we had to take them back to the garage and paint the roof and any repair work to make them brand new again. So I'd be driving your XJS, your Rover SD1, Jaguars, etc. Through Brixton, out the other side to Camberwell. Anyway, one day we had 2 white XJSs turned up, and when we picked them up, thought they were a bit odd that there was 2 that were exactly the same. Anyway, brought them back to the garage, and whilst we're masking off the roof, we had to open the boot to do that because there were big pillars, we had to paint all the way down the pillar. There was a parcel in the boot, looked like number plates. So it was already open, we had a little look, and blow me if it wasn't ST1, Simon Templar 1. And this was the new car that was coming out for the new series of the Saint. Ian Ogilvy, I seem to remember, was the new fella, and we carried on, painted the roofs, took them back, didn't think nothing of it. And then about a week later we opened up the Sun newspaper, and on page 3 where you'd expect to find a few young ladies, there was white XJS, and all over the bonnet were the young ladies in question and Ian Ogilvy, and it was the start of the new series of the Saint. And we had not only driven these cars but painted them as well. So that's my claim to fame, or one of them anyway. From there I went on to work at a little car showroom for a little bit, had my own business for a while doing recovery work, and then one day I decided I'd have a go at a main dealer. So off I went, walked into the main dealers. Any jobs? No. Next one. Any jobs? No. And then walked into the Toyota dealership and spoke to the service manager. I said, got any jobs? And he went, well, what can you do? So I said, oh, just general mechanical work. I can do this, I can do that, a bit of welding, painting. He said, so you're a good all-rounder? I went, yeah. And I'll never forget that guy. Ray Grant, his name was. Apparently he used to be the mechanic for Ferrari, I believe, in the old days. But I'll never forget that. He took me on, and there was no bias. He just went, okay, we'll give you a try. And sure enough, I did all right. I went on for 20 odd years working for Toyota dealerships. I did become a foreman towards the latter stage. I think I did 8 years as a foreman. And I got to a point where, okay, it's all a bit stressful. I was cracking on a little bit at that time. What else can I do? So I thought I'd be a driving instructor. Why? Because I did teach people, taught my mate Nick, taught the mother-in-law and a few other people when I was younger, and they all said that you'd make a good driving instructor. So I thought, okay. So I decided to come out of the motor trade after 38 years, I think it was, and set up myself with a driving school. And I did a year with this driving school, passed all whatever it is you needed to do, bearing in mind that my father was always into transport. He was in the army in the Royal Corps of Transport, and he taught me to drive, and he was also a driving examiner, both in the army and when he came out. So he basically taught me, so I was always a little bit ahead of the game. So eventually, after a year, I decided that I would start my own driving school, and I did that for 8 years, I believe. Getting on a bit by this time, I tried my first attempt at retiring up in Lincolnshire. So I was moving basically from London, Kent area to Lincolnshire. Didn't work out. Went back to Kent and got a job at an airfield, which I'm still at now. And I ended up doing all the paintwork for all the aircraft repairs, did a few resprays on aircraft, basically. And then an opportunity came up where I could go and buy a house up in Lincolnshire with my partner, so that's what I did. And then a little bit of health cropped up, and I thought I just need to have a bit more of a break, so I thought, do you know what, I'm going to go self-employed now, so that I can pick and choose what jobs I do, which is what I did. And then lo and behold, I had Andrew at the museum that the Lancaster's based at, and he said, oh, I hear you're back in Lincolnshire. I went, yeah. Do you want your old job back? Yes, please, because I'd worked there previously on the first time I tried retiring, and I worked there as a volunteer. And he said, fancy your job back 2 or 3 days a week? I went, perfect, that'll do me lovely. And that's where I am today. So that's a brief outline of where I've come from and where I am at the moment. I do enjoy it, I have to say. It's very privileged to work on those sorts of aircraft, and there's not many people that can say that they've painted a Lancaster bomber. But there you go. Now I will be doing a video quite soon again on the P6 Rover. I think we'll call it a day for this particular video, and we'll catch up next time. Don't forget to do the old likey subscribe bit, that would be great, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Very nearly forgot, if you'd like to find out anything more about the Lincolnshire Aviation Heritage Centre, Guy Neville Wilden, he comes in every week and does up-to-date videos of exactly what's going on and what's been happening as the weeks go by, and I'll drop you a link in the description box down below. See you later. Bye.